Okay, so here we go with day 2 of arithmetic sequences. We're going to talk about recursive and explicit formulas again. This is supposed to say recursive, if you're wondering. Recursive formula and explicit. Remember the recursive formula is a sub 1. That's one that we will know or will be given to us. And then a sub n is equal to a sub n minus 1 plus d. Remember, this is your previous term. And this is the common difference. Now the explicit formula is a sub n is equal to a sub 1 plus difference times n minus 1. And this n mean the same thing. So this is the nth term, and if I want to find the nth term, I would plug it in right there. Okay? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use the given recursive formula to find the first 4 terms of the sequence. So I'm sorry, this just, for me, it's just easier to see it this way, maybe because that's what I'm used to. So what it's saying is the first term is 0, and every time we're just going to add 6 to the previous term. Now I could plug that in, but I could also just look at it and think about it logically. So I'm going to plug in, so if I were doing it totally mathematically, I would plug it in, and I would say 0 plus 6, well that's 6. Well now, the previous term is 6, so 6 plus 6 is 12. So that's how I would do it mathematically, and that's good to know so that you get used to how do you plug things into these different parts. But we just want the first 4 terms, so we have 1, 2, 3, add 6 to this, and we get 18. Okay, both ways are right. It's just that why make more work for yourself? Okay, so just kind of think logically on that one. On this one, if we were in class right now, I'd have you try it on your own. So go ahead and pause and do that one on your own. Try it. So for this one, you notice that the first term is negative 17. And what do I do every time? I subtract 17. So I'm going to take negative 17 minus 3. That gives me negative 20. That's my next term. So now I take negative 20 and minus 3. And that's going to give me negative 23. Then I subtract the next term. See how we're doing it to the previous term? So now we take negative 23 minus 3 and we get negative 26. Okay, so these are our answers. We did the first 4 terms. That's what they were asking for. Use the explicit formula to find the first 4 terms. Now, the explicit formula I know is this right here. And what they did here is they just already simplified it for us. And they just simplified it for us. So now we're going to find the first 4 terms of that. That means we want to find n equaling 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we're just going to plug those in. So I'm going to find t of 1 is equal to 4 times 1 plus 3, which is 4 plus 3, or 7. T sub 2, my second term, would be 4 times 2 plus 3. That'd be 8 plus 3. That'd be 11. Then I'm going to find t sub 3. So I'm finding the third term. 4 times 3 plus 3 is equal to 12 plus 3, which is 15. And then t sub 4, I'm going to take 4 times 4 plus 3. I get 16 plus 3, which is equal to 19. So my first 4 terms are 7, 11, 15, and 19. Those are my first 4 terms. And notice all I did is I found that particular term. And I just plugged that in for n. So now you're going to try this one. Go. So hopefully you got negative 12, negative 17, negative 22, and negative 27. I showed my work except for the final answer if you want to see it. Okay, now we're going to use the sequence to write the explicit formula. So we're going to use the sequence to write the explicit formula, then find the given terms. So let's write down the explicit formula first. That's a sub n is equal to a sub 1 plus the difference times n minus 1. So we have to know a sub 1. Yay, got it. That's 19, right there. Now we have to find the difference. So what is the difference? Remember, to find the difference, I'm going to take the second term minus the first term. I get negative 6. I take the second minus the first to find what the difference is. I take the second minus the first. Okay? So now I found a difference of negative 6. So I'm going to simplify all that. So I get 19 plus, distribute here, negative 6n plus 6. And I get negative 6n, 19 plus 6, 25, I'm pretty sure. 19, yes. Okay, so this is my explicit formula in simplest form. Here's my explicit formula, but here's my explicit formula in simplest form. Okay? Now I have to find the 48th term, so I have to find a sub 48. I want to find the 48th term. So in place of n, I'm going to plug in 48. And this is the other reason we're doing sequences right here. Doesn't this seem like it's just formulas? So it's just, it goes right along with it. So this is, it's very similar to what we did with formulas. Okay? So now, oh, take out a calculator. That's a negative 288 plus 25. And we get negative 263. Okay, now always check to see, does that make sense? Well, this is going down. If I'm going to go all the way out to the 48th term, that's what I'm going to probably get. Okay, try this one. Go. So just checking in, hopefully you got that a sub n. In simplest form, your explicit formula is a sub n is equal to 2n minus 5. Hopefully that's what you came up with. Okay, now we're going to find out what a sub 61 is by just plugging 61 in. So we get, oops, minus 5. So, 117. Okay? Good. Let's see what the back has to offer. Find the nth term given the first term and the common difference. Find the nth term. Okay? So they're going to tell us which term we're finding. We know a sub 1. We know d is equal to 3. We're obviously, whenever we have to find a specific term, we're always going to use the explicit form. Because do you really want to find 15 terms? No. So you're going to write the explicit term, the explicit formula. So a sub n is equal to a sub 1 plus difference times n minus 1. So a sub 1, they give us. D, they give us. Okay, now on this, I can simplify it, or I could just go from right here. Okay, I could say that's a sub n. Well, they want a sub 15, so I could simplify this, or I could just plug it in. So 7 plus 3 times 15 minus 1. Okay, so 7 plus 45 minus 3, I want to say, or I should have maybe, simplify that first. Use your order of operations, it'll be easier. 3 times 14, okay, I still have to use a calculator. So I get 7 plus 42, which is 49. Okay, so what that tells us is that a sub 15, the 15th term, is 49. That's what that means. Okay. Try this next one on your own, or at least start it, okay? So on this one, hopefully a sub n looks like this, negative 2 plus negative 3 times n minus 1. You then found a sub 18, by plugging 18 in, simplifying it, combining like numbers, like terms, okay? So a sub 18 is equal to negative 53. Good. Okay, now we're going to find an application of arithmetic sequence in the real world. Luke collects comic books. Luke found a favorite comic book shop today. He decided to buy new issues every week, but because he's on a budget, he limits himself to the same amount of books weekly. This is his collection so far. Wow. Okay, so week 1 he had 245. Week 2 he had 248. Week 3 he had 251. Okay, so how many comic books will he have next week? Well, what happened from here to here? We added 3. What happened from here to here? Added 3. And what's that called? The common difference. We're going to be using that. So now if I want to go to the next one, I'm going to add 3. So 3 plus 251 would be 254. Okay, write an equation to represent the nth week. Okay, well, in order to write an equation, we have to plug it into a sub n is equal to a sub 1 plus d times n minus 1. Well, we could do recursive, but when you're going for certain terms, you don't. That's only if you're going to go, if I want like the first 4 terms. So to write the equation, we're going to have to plug it in. So what's a sub 1? 245. And we've already talked about the common difference. That was 3. We're going to add 3 every time. So now we're going to plug it in. A sub n is equal to 245 plus 3 times n minus 1. Simplify that. We get 242 plus 3n. So a sub n is equal to 3n plus 242. And I realize order doesn't matter, but for some reason with these, we always put the variable up in front. So now, how many comics books will Luke have in 11 weeks? So that means what they want us to find is a sub 11. So a sub 11, that's an 11, we're just going to take our formula 242 plus 3 times 11. Calculator. 242 plus 33, and we get 275. So how many books will we have? 275. Wow, a lot of books. Okay, so that is day 2. You're going to be working on the next worksheet that is just, I think it's actually even called day 2. Yes, it is. Arithmetic sequence day 2. That's what you're going to be working on. Good. If you have any questions, you know where to find us. Thanks.